Hello and welcome to All Talk No Dice, the worst excuse for an online D&D show you can find online. From last we left off, the Companions of Fate, a newly formed band of adventurers, continued their journey into the blistering deserts of Greldeem, following the Meridian Road further north, set on as mercenaries for the small town of Brenton, and following leads and warnings from Lawkeeper Bolin attempting to find the mysterious cult known as the Herons. You were told that they were ambushing every trader and merchant that traversed the Crawler's Respite, causing a disturbance within the rate of supplies making it into the town. After only a few hours of travelling, devising a plan to bait out any herons along the road, with aid from your fresh-faced ally Theron, you were caught slightly off guard and ambushed by a small army of goblins and one large intimidating orc. And with haste you all dispatched the small group and laid waste to their chattering and growling forms, leaving their bodies to rot in the sands, while leaving others but Mia, Ash and Sunder. You decided to take 2 hostages, finding a language barrier and a stubbornness with the orc. Terra quickly allowed Mogwai to devour them, while Rayloff searched for clues within any possessions, and Gerald and Theron looked across the horizons, finding a curious set of eyes upon you. Deciding this wasn't the best place to stick around, you tied up and hoisted your goblin hostage up to the side of your caravan and continued along the daunting Meridian Road. Now, as the sun beats heavily down upon all of you, a common silence of weather as no breeze passes by, you feel the hot air fill your lungs and sweat begin to build underneath your garbs. Tara used her newly formed companion to take to the skies, and as you did, you let your vision pass to their own, as you began to take in the vast landscape of gold and amber hills and very little of anything else around. Yet you saw a large sunken structure far off in the horizon, all while Rayloff kept his eyes on the road and Tara and Theron tried to give you a slight makeover, finding little success and a giggling goblin before it was silenced once more and left unconscious, still hanging off the side of the caravan after a mere bump in the road. And this is where we pick it up. So, as all of you continue to travel down the cobblestone and sand covered road, you just hear the wheels just slightly just creaking as you continue. The horses just still and just keeping a steady pace.
I'm still giggling at Tara.
Yeah, Tara, after you just throw out the one punch, and the goblin just falls silent, still hoisted and tied against the side of the caravan, bobbing up and down with the slight bumps in the cobblestone. What would you guys like to do?
Back at Gerald and Theron. Say, well, you guys are prying around like stupid children. I actually got some valuable information.
Which is?
We're going to be on this road for quite a while. I would say about a day and a half.
No shit, it's a desert.
Yeah. It's going to take 7 days to get to the end. Did you think maybe about that? Were you able to find anything useful apart from do whatever you've done to my face?
Yeah, I found out that your face is quite good at absorbing ink.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, if we're having to do this more often, do more jobs for more people more often, if we have an image, we have a contract, we have to go to other people, and you're like this?
Okay. You did me a solid. Okay.
I just want to put this out. You can't mess around. And I want you to take me serious. You cannot.
You see Mogwai as well. Just
I
like
am generally looking over Gerald and
Mogwai turns from the from feasting on the arm.
Theron, no, but yeah.
Mogwai just turns. It just stares. It just begins to just lowly growl and just look at both Gerald and Theron.
Yeah, you tell him.
Okay,
You know,
I
Day and a
apologize.
half to what exactly?
For what? Looking back.
You said that it was going to be at least a day and a half, and then it's 7 days.
So there's a very very large, colossal stoneworked cotton building. It seems stunk, I'd like to say, but it had a lot of rubble everywhere, so it could be destroyed, could not be. It could be a place that's there. They are set. I don't particularly know a lot of information apart from that it's there. The 7 days, though, is that at the end of the desert, it seems to be greenery like a forest. But that'll take us I reckon that'd take us about 7 days. Obviously, less if we got to the first place, but 7 days from here.
Right.
Oh,
Those ruins, can we hide from this? Did it look like we could go inside?
I would say
Hide
so.
from the sun?
I feel like it would be a solid call. We'd have to at least have a rest because a day and a half of constant travel. Unless we're willing to do shifts. Obviously, we'd have to stop for the horses to rest. Get some food, get some drink. That shouldn't be too much of a problem, hopefully.
Regardless of whether we stop or go, we will definitely need some watching.
Well, someone will be... if 2 people sleep now, and 2 people ride the horse and carriage, and then we could switch. You just have a little break for the horses between both the shifts. If you want it.
What sort of time of day is it right now?
Right now, you set off pretty much just past the crack of dawn. It's only been just a few hours of travel, so I'd say roughly, based on the position of the sun in the sky, you'd probably assume it was no later than mid-morning, maybe knocking on about 10 in the morning. Still very bright. The weird thing is, as soon as it's past dawn and the sun rises, as soon as you get past that like darker shade of amber cast across the entire landscape, it is just then like evanescent, just shimmering bright yellow sun everywhere. It's clear blue skies and just the sun beaming down. So you can get a little bit confused as to what exact time of the day is, but you'd surmise about mid-morning or so.
I did.
So are we going to this forest then?
Well, the forest is way too far away.
We don't have the food.
No. Well, I have some food. Mogwai can fry for food. But yeah, Mogwai's always hungry, aren't you, buddy?
I don't know how well we could be able to find food for some horses in a desert.
Well,
Horses won't really eat meat.
We have 3 days. Yeah, I'm sorry, it was 3 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have 3 days of horse feed.
Yeah.
We have enough food for the horses to go to this ruins and come back at a decent time. It's as good a starting place as any.
Well, if we start going for them.
What are we gonna do about the prisoner?
Well, on the way we can start to talk to him. Surely we can bring him back. I've got some good berries. We could do what I did before, and we could have an actual conversation.
You might want to wash your face then. He seemed to have found it as amusing as us.
Exactly. If we want to show fear through our enemies, we don't want this.
We can edit it if you want.
How about no?
Make it scarier.
Touch this.
If it's any consolation, I have to wear actual glasses.
Well, if we ride for another 4-5 hours, stop for having something to eat, and then if a group of rests and carries on, and then we could swap over and overnight.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
I should volunteer for the night shift.
So
Yeah, I don't mind sticking with Gerald for the night shift as well.
You did look a bit banged up there, Scratch. Will you be all right?
Yeah, I'll be alright. I was just thinking a way to get me bloody spells back, but I don't think I can.
Don't you have
Well,
arcane recovery?
If you,
Yeah, I was going to say you are. Okay,
Yeah.
don't worry.
It'll only get me like one spell though, won't it?
yeah,
If it's
for the time
needed, though.
being.
Don't complain.
More than
Yeah,
help
yeah.
than anything.
Actually,
enough.
you've leveled up, isn't it? You'll get 2 spells, won't you? Now, because it's half your level.
I'd
2
you'd
level
have to
1 or
move
1
into
level
that
2.
box.
You get,
That's cool.
and I think he's frozen. Oh wait, no, he's
No,
not.
it's not.
I'm not.
He's just deep in thought.
Yeah.
Mentally
Yeah.
thinking.
So still, then that was
Yeah.
amazing.
You can use your dice as well. I would say
Hey.
you can use your healing for a short rest.
I'll be alright for that. I've got 31 out of me 34 because Tara pretty much healed me.
Yeah,
Did me a solid.
I did do
in the
you a
battle.
solid. And you treat me like this after
That
giving
was-
you a solid?
That was out of character. But
Yeah, still.
fair
You see
enough.
how-
I'll remember it.
I try to help you and you help me with this?
You see
Me and
now.
Mogwai are not pleased.
You see now as well, just as Mogwai continues like just below Terra, you see with the sweat pouring down all of you, some of the ink from the like quarter monocle that you're able to manage is now starting to like run slightly, and it looks kind of like a black eye or like part of like a crying panda, just a little bit.
Can I roll to see if I know what pandas are?
No, you
Oh.
No.
whenever it's descriptions like that, then if it pertains to an actual animal in the universe, then I would get you to roll for it.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
any comparisons from IRL, just take it as it is.
Anatomically, no pandas in this world.
I mean, there's bears. There are bears, so there could be a panda around.
Could be a weird panda.
Yeah, you never know.
Weird bear. So what are we doing then?
We are going to be moving for a few hours. Is this right, Rayloff?
Yeah, 4 or 5
And then-
hours.
And then we'll stop, give the horses a rest, eat some food, get ready, and then we'll take shifts.
Okay.
If our fellows, because like, if Gerald's still okay with it, we'll do the night shift. If you guys want to, if we'll get some kipping, and then you carry on going, and then we'll switch over.
Yeah. That's fine.
Mogwai will keep you company. Not
That's
saying
great.
he'll start clear on his face, but I'm pretty sure he'll be fine.
Great. I love Mogwai.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, he's the best.
And you just see Mogwai
Awesome.
at this point, Theron, staring at you, just gives you the biggest like puppy dog owlbear eyes you've ever seen.
Oh, all right, kid. Calm down.
Well, one of you get in front and keep an eye with me.
I'll go to the front.
Okay. So,
In fact, before you do move to the front and we carry on, we are moving still, aren't we?
yeah,
Yeah,
still
I didn't see
going
the cost.
still going at a
Yeah.
steady pace.
Awesome. Theron, you know you can do that thing when you were touching that guy's head ages ago?
Well, not that kind of head.
Yeah. How many
Yeah.
times can you do it?
I'm already spent up until I have a long rest.
Okay.
I see where you're going, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay. Does anyone else know Goblin?
No.
No, is it just myself? Amazing. So we need some things clarified. What do you want me to ask?
Where the hideout is would be a good start.
I'll kind of like jot this down.
How many leaders?
And why they're attacking people.
And does he look?
I can't write that quickly.
But Rayloff, what if we find out they're attacking people for their own families?
How many people?
And I'm sure the Lawmaster can come to an agreement with them. At least then we know for a fact that they have a reason to do it. Albeit it isn't a good. It still doesn't make the action any good, but.
Don't forget to ask him if he likes drawn-on eyes.
How about we missed that one?
Okay.
So where the hideout is, how many people are there?
And if they have any spare ink bottles?
No.
Why they're attacking people.
Anything else?
If anything hits you, ask it.
The only other thing would be more information about this cult of theirs, but...
Okay. I can always ask him. Because I'm sure that once we're finished, Mogwai can eat some more.
Maybe don't phrase it as a cult, but more an interesting group that you wish to hear more about.
Somehow I don't think they'll believe that.
Worth something better than insulting them.
The hounds. Amazing. Okay. So I'm going to pull the goblin from where it's being kept on the side of the caravan part.
Yeah, very very easily done. They're not the weightiest kind of creatures, so it's as soon as you undo a couple of the knots that have attached him to the side of the caravan, very easily just to pull the creature. Just...
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna make sure that he's tied, but behind his arms, he's tied his legs. Make sure he can't run. But I'll not only knot it once, I'll knot it twice, but then I will make a secondary knot and knot them again to make sure there's no way. The best way he's going to lead the conversation is somehow levitate and fuck off the whole carriage.
Okay, so roll a survival check for me as you're doing these knots.
Yeah.
Who's at the front of the carriage? It's Rayloff and Theron, right?
Yeah.
And then Gerald, you're in the back with Tara and the Goblin and Mogwai.
I am going to say as well, looks like it's time for a good cop, bad cop, and I shall use Bardic Inspiration on Tara as well.
Amazing.
Okay. So
So
that's a D6 you can add. 23, yeah, easily done. Just feeling, remembering what you were taught a long time ago, and just and before you know it, it's a full hog tie with double reinforcements. And the best way that this creature will be able to get away is to just shuffle and worm themselves off the end of the caravan.
Nice.
But with how tightly you've got everything wrapped, it'll take them a lot of energy and a lot of struggle to even get to the end.
We'd notice that he's trying before.
It wouldn't just be a slip away. You would hear the commotion.
Yeah, audible, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I give guidance to myself?
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm going to, while everything's done and sorted, blah, 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 I've got my good berry ready. I'll put it on the side. Give us 1 second, and I'll cross my legs, sit on the floor, put my hands together. Attack. I'm gonna need your strength. Please. We need all the information we can get. I'm going to use guidance on myself, but also use detect thoughts.
Okay. All right.
Who were you praying to?
You heard the word, the word Taratai.
Tie.
Taratai.
Taratai.
I'll
Okay.
give you the actual
So
spelling.
is there a save for detect thoughts or no?
You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most in the mind at that moment. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind.
Right.
If I probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so just base level.
Yeah.
Okay. You hear from the goblin the thoughts you just hear.
I'm so hungry. I need to get back soon.
You're in luck. Give him the good berry.
Yeah.
And I'll.
Yeah, as you just
move
like
his
massage the
mouth,
throat
yeah.
just to make sure it digests properly and gets there.
Yeah.
You just see like the eyes just weakly open. And it initially starts trying to struggle, but quickly finds that it's just there's no can't even move shoulders forward. You've got the hog tie set in.
I'm gonna use my half staff and kind of prod him in his arm just to make him feel uncomfortable. He's under the pressure. Where is your hideout? You will tell me, and push it a bit deeper.
Yeah, it's trying to get away, but there's no chance, and you're just pushing and pushing and pushing. Roll an intimidation check for me.
I'll take that roll. Intimidation. That is a 17.
Okay. In Goblin. So the rest of you just hear
Salmon.
Tara, you hear
To the northwest. Far to the end of the crawler's respite. Please, don't hurt me. I have a wife and a family. My kids will be starving. Please don't let them suffer.
How many of you are there in this interesting group you call yourselves the Herons?
I don't know what herons are.
I will pull out the amulet of the chest of the troll's skull and around the boat, and I'll. So, what is this? Your orc friend, pointing at his finger, being eaten by Mogwai.
Yeah, Mogwai's just halfway just.
Got me. And look where he is.
I don't know anything.
That is a lie! And I'll shove it in a bit harder. You will tell me.
Are you trying to put? Are you just pushing against his shoulder from comfort,
yeah.
or
So
trying
he's
to
got
pierce skin?
Just a good firm push.
Okay.
But just more so it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's really harsh in one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll.
I don't want to actively hurt him.
Yeah. Roll another intimidation check for me then, please.
Yep.
I know you just said that. Gerald is actually going to lean into you and be like, "Do you want to hurt him?"
I'll kind of use my eyes and look left and right to interpret no, but I'm not going to actively say.
Alright.
Just in case he's reading my lips. If you see that, it's completely up to you.
Yeah, it's alright, I'll gather that. Gerald's gonna sit back again then. He's not gonna do what he was gonna do.
Where are you taking me?
Wherever we decide.
What was your intimidation?
We are going
roll?
to 17 again.
Okay.
I rolled 16. We are going the right way to your family, right? If you do. have a family.
My wife and
I don't really care.
7
about
kids
your wife.
are going to suffer if I don't get home. Please just release my bindings.
Not gonna happen.
Please.
No. So you will
come
have
on.
the information that I need, or
Okay.
you may.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I tell you everything I know, will you let me go?
I will talk to my compadres and what they think.
Okay.
Do you know Common?
No.
Or so they? No.
Just tell
In
them
common.
about my wife and 7, 8 children.
That's changed. I know you're lying.
I'm not lying.
You do see a visible like little grin.
Yeah. Does any benefit from detect thoughts come from that?
Right now,
point
now, you hear in his mind.
Oh, fuck.
Have you delved deeper yet?
Not yet. In common, I'm gonna say. I know where we need to go. And I'm gonna actively look at Gerald. No, I'm not gonna hurt him. I'm only saying it now just because, and try to keep my mouth not moving much.
Yeah.
He doesn't know common, so we're pretty good. He says he has a family, but I really don't believe so.
The family is the herons.
I would assume so. Well, if so, then there's only 8 of them. But he changed his mind to say 7, then 8, so that's why I think it's a lie. He did say if he says everything he knows, would we let him free? What do you think?
What if he gets back to them before we get to them?
My plan was we don't.
Unless we let him go and then we follow him exactly to where he's going.
Well, he says, where the hideout is northwest. Northwest.
And you believe him?
Well, it's somewhere, right? And that is where I saw this place. So we're going to the same place.
And he doesn't speak common.
He doesn't.
Okay, I'm gonna say this in the most monotonous voice then. So, not monotonous. So, sort of very jesting. So you can tell it's being put on fake. But if he didn't understand common, he wouldn't stand it. Just slice his throat. That'll be fine.
You want me to kill him?
Don't get nothing then. I'm guessing.
You do see
You
his
want me
eyes
to-
get a bit wider.
Any detect thought will benefit, or from him hearing? that?
You hear.
Oh, God. I'm going to be gutted like a pig. No, fuck, I'm dead.
I'm going to walk towards the goblin and say in common, tell them now! And non-lethal damage, I'm going to slap him in the face and then feed him another good berry.
Okay, so just as he's like looking up at you, and as you shout, and he just hits the deck like a sack of potatoes before very quickly you just pop out another little good berry and just massage the throat.
Well, that wasn't worth the explanation.
Mira, my nonno,
Ah, don't give me
kill
that.
him,
You will
don't
speak to us. He, pointing at Rayloff, is a weird one. He will slit your throat. With ease.
Roll it. One more intimidation check with advantage.
Okay. Okay, 13 was my highest. With intimidation, it's 14. I will be using both Bardic Inspiration and I will be using my, what's it? Is it a D4 and a D6?
D4 is your guidance, and then D6 is the Bardic Inspiration.
14. I rolled a 4 on that, 18.
And as you're doing that, I'll just look back in, and I'll use
19 total so far.
I'll use Minor Illusion just to do a little a whisper in the wind by him, just sort of like, tell them now, kind of thing.
Cool.
Alright, with all that,
19.
with all that, the goblin very quickly.
Fine.
You all hear in common.
Just don't let them slice me. Please. If you unbind me, I will take you to the herons. Oh, there's loads of treasure. We could get that all. We could take it all. And then...
We as in us?
You can have it all. We can kill the king. Or we could take the treasure, and then we could run away.
What if we made you the king?
Then that would be amazing. That's exactly where I want to be.
So who is this king?
The gluttonous one.
Hey, how many people are there? Have goblins anyone alive under his direction?
There's hundreds of us. Some would say torrents and waves.
And you know the exact location?
Yes.
Yes.
Out of interest, is there any secret entrances?
Yes.
And you know them?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Wow, you seem like a knowledgeable fella.
I am. I run along those halls day in and day out. I know every nook and cranny. From the throne room...
Why you're attacking caravans? Yes?
We're not attacking them.
What are you
merely taking what they have. And
because
some of them fight back and kill more of us, so we kill them.
Hey guys, he's just liberating the goods.
Liberating.
For his community.
Yeah. Like that. I've told you what I know now, just cut me loose and let me go. I can show you to the treasure hoard, the throne room. I can show you the tombs where we hide the most precious of all of our treasure, and we can get it all from the king, just under the king's nose, and we can be out.
Amazing.
You can see from our point of view why we don't think that you're very believable.
Why are you a day and a half's travel on horse? Away? If you're there day in, day out? You obviously got told to be there at that location at that time. Did you get a heads up that we may be coming?
I went for a walk.
Raising my hand. Do you want me to kill you again? I can do it multiple times. In fact, and then thinks slightly, looking at him, looking back. How many times can I do it? 10, 50 times. Do you want to do this? I've got enough. I can do it.
I don't know about the rest of you, but if you were to go and find the king, you're going to have to hit harder than a little girl.
non-lethal damage. Yeah.
Just size.
I'll give him another one. Yeah.
He's the first you want. I give him that.
I'll sort of whisper to Theron, take the helm a sec. So pass him the reins.
No worries, kid.
I'm gonna step in as the goblin's coming back. I'm going to step in and
just as you step in, you see the goblin like just licks his tongue across the blackened and yellow jagged fangs.
I think you chipped a tooth.
Have you seen what you've done?
If you're going to slice me up now, you'll never find a way in.
Depends on how hard I cut, doesn't it? Really. I'm gonna take out my hand axe. I'm just gonna rest it on his hand. I'm gonna rest it on his shoulder, so the blade's on his arm, but it's not cutting into it. So, how long do you think it'll take to cut into your arm before you talk?
About the same time that once you kill me, word will get back to the king and everyone will be ready for you.
And ready for
take
a whole town's guard?
Take charge.
All of the towns, once they hear that you're stopping trade?
You may be big, but your brain's small.
I'm going to start digging into the shoulder.
That isn't nice.
And neither is killing people who are merely protecting what's theirs.
We do what we're told. That's all.
And who is the telling? This gluttonous king? Is he the one who told you?
Yes.
Out of interest, have you ever heard or seen a guy with a white brimmed hat?
Yes.
Who is he?
My cousin.
Oh, for God's sake. Just cut his arms and legs off and then we can take him with us.
Fine. I'm just going to lift the axe up. I'm going to bring it down. As close to his arm as possible.
As close, so you're just stopping just before?
Just stopping just before.
Roll intimidation check. With advantage.
Cool.
God, you fuckers are
I
mean.
I will lean over to Rayloff. I know it's not for this role, but obviously for any other kind. I'll talk to Rayloff's side and be like, "You treat him well."
19, by the way.
And I'll give you guidance for whenever you can use it next.
Is that a D4?
It's a D4 in the next minute.
It for this one.
No.
Yeah.
I think guidance lasts for a minute. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I will double check for you.
You immediately see the goblin just.
It is.
And you begin to see the front of its garbs just slowly just darken slightly.
Then I look back and I'm just like, hey, we can help each other out here. And I chuck prestidigitation and sort of clean up the mess.
Yeah, the piss stain just straight away just disappears.
What's your name?
My name? Theron. Yours? What's your name?
Cleed.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet. I like you.
And he tries to push his neck forward, more directed towards you, Theron. Still gaining no distance while everyone else is around him.
Why can't your friends be like you?
Because I can be a little underhanded.
So
I'll be nice.
I
know.
Not for long you won't be. Now talk.
And now we're back to this.
When Rayloff says now talk, I would like to use the detect thoughts part to delve in deeper.
Okay.
So That'll be a wisdom saving throw. DC of 14.
He rolled an 18.
Son of a bitch.
You
He
begin,
knows that
yeah,
I'm
you begin
trying
to
delve
hear
deeper.
just slight mumbles, just, and just as it's getting clearer and clearer, you quickly just hear nothing, as you see the goblin's eyes just shoot straight through you, Tara.
Please stop doing that.
I'll do what we need to get our information.
Just ask Quill questions and then let me go.
Lessons of
Otherwise, the king will not want to be your friend.
Hey,
Fine.
listen.
One thing. I'm going to grab the goblin's, come right past everyone, grab the goblin's face, and he's going to look directly into my eyes. 2 red dots are going to appear just inside the blackness of the eyes. And I'm going to use the unnatural charm feature to try and make him be our friends.
Okay.
So that's a wisdom saving throw.
Alright. I'm not like natural 20.
He fucking
On the
saves.
That's just what I mean. He doesn't say what? Shit.
You all see Gerald's like the slight, just small pupils and bits of the iris just redden slightly as he says this.
Knowing that it's not succeeding, I'll do it again.
Wait.
This time increasing the redness that's
Yeah,
inside.
you see the red just begin to start filling his eyes.
Before you do it again, I want to cast a Mind Sliver on him.
Okay, so that's a roll for an attack, which I'll give you because it's ranged, but he's hooked out. I mean, yeah, just roll with advantage for an attack.
14 plus 6, is it?
Yeah, easily hits. So roll for damage.
It is a D. Be helpful if it didn't. Oh, 1d6 psychic. 4.
Rabbi, it won't matter.
Okay, just Gerald, as you feel it coming over you slightly more and more, just increasing the strength of this charm. You see the goblin, like part of his pupils kind of just dilate slightly.
I'm very happy to.
And then Theron you just see just a dark energy just slivered into his head. And he slams down like a sack of potatoes, unconscious again.
However, when he does come back round, I believe it is 1d4 subtracted off his next saving throw.
How long does that last? And I don't know if it will go through unconsciousness and coming back.
Oh.
And I assume that you were also going to call it as non-lethal damage, right? You weren't going to just end it.
No.
Okay,
no.
all right. So it's
not ending his life.
Okay.
So now
Alright.
It can. if you're going to say that it's still under the effects, I don't know how you want to deal with that because it's 24 hours. He does then get a repeat of the saving throw because of that attack.
Okay. So as he comes back,
Rise and shine.
I said we could do this all day.
as he blinks, he's going to make that saving throw again. That is a 16 to save.
8 plus that. He saves.
And minus the 1d4 though.
I'm gonna, while this is happening, I'm going to go back into the front and carry on leading the horses.
Minus 4. That makes it 8.
Oh,
That
nice.
means he fails.
You see.
Hello, friend. I must have been napping.
It's been a little time. Now, my friends have some questions that were avoided earlier. We'd need some help if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. Why am I tied up?
Oh, it's for your own safety. Just so you don't fall out the back. There's not a lot of space here, you see.
And you just see him look straight down.
Well, I guess you're right. I'm sure I was scratching myself during my nap anyway. Saves my skin. Thank you.
No worries. We shall of course, as soon as we stop, we shall untie you, and you'll be on your way.
And as best as the goblin can, he kind of like shuffles like off of his belly, like onto his butt if he can, still in that like little cocoon of rope, but just plants on his butt, and with his legs just still like curled together.
He is still a good distance away from the being able.
Yeah, he's about just about a foot away.
Okay.
So a decent push back, he could probably launch himself off, but there's not too much space inside the caravan.
Okay. I'm gonna calmly and nicely. I'm just gonna move you just here, so you just feel a bit more comfortable. I'm gonna push him slightly further away from the side of the carriage.
As you do, he's just like,
oh, that's right. Whee!
And as you just grab his ankles, just slide him closer to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will try to make it seem more comfortable, but
my shoulders hurt.
I will also, just for a thing, here, I'll cast is it Cure Wounds? Yeah, I'll cast Cure Wounds on him as well. I'll give him one arm.
Alright, you want to roll for the HP?
To give him 10 hit points back.
You see one shoulder that is like currently like way up here. You just hear.
Oh, that feels so much better. Oh, thank you, buddy.
Anytime. Now I must rest a while. Tara, feel free.
Okay, good night.
So, have you ever heard of the Herons?
Yeah.
We were quite curious, but do you have any more information that you know that we obviously don't?
Well, that really depends on how much you know.
We were just sent as not messages, but more for gathering info, and you were the closest person that may or may not. That's why we've asked. You were telling us earlier, I think, about we were going the same way, so we thought we'd give you a ride.
Oh, you're so kind to people like me. Yeah, just follow the road and then it splits off along the more packed sand trail towards the northwest, and you'll find the ruins. But you may want to be careful.
How come?
There are very unruly creatures that sometimes traverse around the ruins of...
You know their name?
No,
Sorry,
no. I just know that some days, sometimes, whenever the sun is here or there, they'll sometimes skulk around, just for a little bit.
How many people are in this group?
Including me. Roughly between 30 and 50 of goblins and a few bugbears and orcs. And obviously the big ogre himself, the king.
And what would you say your hierarchy is like?
It gets confusing some days. But the last time I heard, it's the same as always. So, we have the king, and then 2 captains. Both of them are orcs. I don't know why they didn't get a goblin to be a captain, but they just put us down as the cannon fodder. Which I think is very racist and insulting in of itself.
Would you ever like to be promoted to captain?
Oh, yes. Just so I could look at the orcs and go, "Bleh."
Nodding in agreement. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Do you have any leadership as you are as a goblin?
No.
No one's under you?
No.
How long have you been with them?
All of my life.
All of your life? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
In goblin years, I'm 4.
In human years?
I was never that good at counting. Roughly.
Do you know how long a human year is to a goblin's?
No. But I assume I'm in adulthood for you.
Oh, that's not too bad then. And you've been in with the herons all your life?
Yeah.
Do you raise children through with the herons?
Yeah.
Oh. Is there a certain point what they have to do to claim that they are now part of the herons, or? Surely they need training.
Like an initiation.
I would say so.
Oh no, we're not. We're not some kind of cult.
But do you not get
silly.
trained?
No.
That's what I mean. We don't know anything now. We're asking silly questions, but maybe getting silly answers. I don't know.
You are kind
Any
of
answer
silly.
is better. Thanks.
It's mainly with what's on your face.
Oh, I know. Gazing my eyes towards Theron and Gerald.
Look at that. You can't stop this.
Oh, you guys are funny.
So, yeah.
So where's the best hidden entrance? Let's make you a captain, shall we?
Oh. There isn't any hidden entrances.
Just as I thought.
You know the entrance?
Yeah.
And do you know how many goblins or herons as a total are near the entrance?
Near the entrance. All but 0.
Zero.
Depending on the time of day and the day.
When obviously it'd be nice to get there when it's a little quiet.
Yeah.
What time does it normally quiet down?
It depends when those creatures want to skulk somewhere else. Because when the creatures are around, obviously we need a guard or two to look after the door. And all we're told when we go on watch is stay still.
Now when these things aren't there, is that when it's most quiet, or is it most quiet when they are around?
More quiet when they're around, but we don't have any guards or anyone always watching outside because we're down around the ruins. We have cavern spaces, very spacious as well, so you can fit 20, 30 goblins in one little hidey hole.
Oh.
It's really, really good. It's a nice place. It's comfy, it's cozy. Little drafty in the winters, though.
Yeah, you get it.
What's the loyalty like of your fellow goblins?
Of my goblins? Depends on how much you pay them.
Plenty of them very hungry, I assume.
Yeah. The orcs like to feast in front of us, and then we get what they don't have.
That doesn't seem very fair to me.
No, it isn't. We were thinking of a rebellion about
1 year ago.
1 goblin year ago.
So what stopped you from doing it?
Oh, the captain slaughtered half of us.
And what would you think? What would you and your compatriot fellow goblins think if us guys were to try and liberate you goblins to become captains?
You die.
I mean, you can
he's
say
very
that, but
It would just mean more food for us. And we are hungry. And there's more of us than orcs. And there's only one ogre.
You
You
get
should see how
paid?
much he eats.
well, his name is Gluttonous King.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, though.
It means big, fat, and greedy.
Oh. He is fat.
Yeah.
Do you get paid?
No.
Just in food? Or scraps?
And shelter. But we have to look after our own shelter and our own caverns and pretty much just safety in numbers.
Have you... This may be another silly question. Have you seen much money?
Around the king sometimes.
Yeah.
But I've seen him.
And you see Greed just kind of like try and lean forward again, like being able to a little bit more now. He's like sitting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen him dig holes and put all the coins in there, all the shinies in there, and cover it up.
Does anybody rule over the Gluttonous King? Like an outside faction?
No.
You haven't seen a guy with a white brimmed hat? And don't say your brother.
I assume I can't say sister. I don't know who he is. I see him all the time.
Huh. When do you see him all the time? Like where?
Whenever we're out looking for a caravan or looking for merchants to do what our orders are and retrieve all of the goods. Sometimes you'll see a little glint, or...
What, from a distance?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what he's using, but... Yeah, it's just like this little... I wish I could use my arms. A little white circle in the distance. And then, when the circle disappears, you see a hat. And a little bit of a horse.
Okay.
But
any traps in your hideout? So,
not where I live.
and can anyone use magic?
I think it depends on bloodline.
In a goblin? Do you use any goblins? Use magic at all?
Yeah,
Many, or
sure.
do you know this?
Yeah.
Like for a fact?
Yeah. I've been there all of my life. I know what goes on inside my caverns.
That's cool.
Not when you're being fed scraps.
Well, at least you're full now.
Yeah. It's the best I've eaten since I can remember.
Is there any secret codes or things that you have to say for a goblin to know that it's you? Or
No.
no, it's just approach and they know who you are?
Yeah.
Has any other goblins tried to come in and try to proclaim any money or items that may have been stolen from other caravans?
Yeah.
And what's happened with them?
Oh,
Have
they
they
died.
just been recruited? Okay. From the Gluttonous King himself or from the captains?
The captains.
No. Oh. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Has our friend talked enough now, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
I would say so. I think you've given us loads of information.
I feel like you should
I
take
do
a...
have a quick question. Do you have any family at all, or is the Herons your family?
Well, I used to have a father and a brother. But they were older than me, and they tried to rebel a few years ago.
And what happened?
They are now dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh well.
Would you be willing to rebel if possible?
No,
You wouldn't.
I'd die.
But if you
Very
had the
quickly.
assistance of us, if we helped you,
I'll four more creatures, yes, and then I will rebel wholeheartedly and charge into my death with a smile.
well, you can talk to your other goblin friends
Yeah.
and maybe bulk the numbers.
No,
No,
they know we'll die.
but you'll have us to help you all.
Okay, so when we get back, I will go to them and I will say, I met 4 creatures in the desert. The respite gave me 4 new allies. I don't know what they can do, I don't know who they are, but we're going to take over the ruins. And you know what they'll say to me?
What?
Shut up, stupid, go to sleep.
That's not very nice.
No,
But it is funny.
it's not funny if you're stupid. Who's being told to go to sleep?
I do believe, looking towards you, I do feel like we're done now. Was there anything that you wanted to say, or?
Yes, actually, now you mentioned that, if you came bearing food parcels as evidence that we can give them more stuff, is that more likely to convince them?
The goblins, captains, or the king?
The goblins. The captains and the king will be removed.
The problem with us goblins is, once you give us a little bit, we'll want a lot. Sorry. They don't call me greed for nothing.
If we were to rebel against them,
Yeah,
you would then have surely the Gluttonous King's horde.
we wouldn't have a horde if we were dead.
But isn't that what's worth fighting for?
No,
Your own freedoms?
no.
So deep down, you actually prefer to be where you are, how you are.
Safety in numbers. Sometimes we get to eat. We have our own caverns. We get to go out for days. Granted, those days are ambushing and stealing from people, but it's fun.
Okay, how would you like to have a nice relaxing sleep?
You know, I am so hot, and I don't care what people say. Goblins do not do well in extreme heat. I am exhausted.
Excellent. You just close your eyes there for me.
Okay,
And as he
friend.
closes his eyes, I will just slit his throat and kill him.
Good. No.
Okay.
As the goblin just leaning back, saying, just as you just hear,
Good night, friend.
and just,
Oh,
then you just see the
Rayloff,
gore just begin to.
I got blood on your rope.
Prestidigitation. Poof.
Never
Well,
mind.
you-
Before, as that's
business.
happening, you just see Rayloft go, "What?"
Sort of a fish, right?
And just as you turn your head, you see the goblin just fall back.
Oh.
Sack of potatoes, and you
Fell
just
off
see a
the
pool of
cart.
blood begin to pool around it.
Could I use guidance on myself? And I would like to investigate the goblin's wares or whatever he has on him that would be able, if he had any information on him or
Yeah. Okay.
possible coin
Sure.
or
Roll
meat or
investigation
whatever.
check for me.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I would have been able to hear all the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single word.
Okay, can I perceive down the road then to see the split that the goblin was talking about?
It's
right,
gonna be
right now.
a long...
Right now, you just see a continuous sort of curve towards the north east, as opposed to the west, and you just see like this gentle curve, and it goes down to like, you know, like the vanishing point. And it just goes down to like a dot and nothing, and
That's
just like
fine.
continuous road.
The other reason I was asking was because I wanted to use the guidance.
Yeah.
It would have been only for a minute, but
It's only a minute. Oh, I thought
only
it
a
was an
minute.
hour.
so it
No,
would have
no.
already
Matter
done.
then.
Yeah.
Is Terrace doing
22.
the investigation check? Can I just take a really good look at the goblin's features?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
it.
Yeah, no problem. Roll a perception check then for me. And
Just just in case I want to do a minor illusion later.
Yeah, no problem. So Tara, 22. You find 1 copper piece.
Ooh.
You don't find any weapons,
Okay, no weapons.
and you find a small piece of parchment tucked into
18.
the waistband of its loincloth. And in Goblin script,
Okay.
it says, "Greed. Get back soon. Dinner's on the table.
No!
Get back soon. What did he say?
Dinner will be on the table."
Dinner will be on the dinner.
Oh shit, he had a family, folks. You got
Oops.
You're
my perception's 15 plus
Yeah.
3.
continuing on in the ladder, or the little bit of parchment. After it says dinner
Yeah.
will be on the table,
Yeah.
your best friend and loving wife, Margarine.
One asshole.
And perception check, Theron, you look, and you see, and you just take in all the goblin's features, albeit it's a little bit disgruntled and distorted now in this more grotesque moment as the neck is just split wide open. But you do take in the sort of like the narrow-ish square of a jaw, the big green floppy ears that are kind of like cut and have slight little lashes throughout them. You do see a couple silver earrings just embedded like little hoops in one ear. Very like bulbous nose, almost like dwarvish in nature, but a little bit more compact, a little bit more of a bulbous end to the nose. Very thick furrowed brow, and almost kind of like more like Neanderthal like forehead, kind of sunken in but a little bit thick and rounded. And at least for this goblin, you don't really see any hair, except for like small little tufts here and there that are just, either forgotten about or are slowly peeking through.
Yeah, nice one.
But you've taken in the visage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, we're not going to just dump the goblin's body, are we? We might need some food.
I don't think goblin tastes nice.
Mogwai just
I
at this
know
point.
Mogwai will.
You see
Apple.
Mogwai just
Okay.
Not even he wants it.
Even Mogwai wants it.
He just nears his tongue to the body, just where the throat is open.
Just eat him, Mogwai. Or we'll just dump, or else we'll just dump him over the side.
At this point, you just see.
You don't want to? Okay. I approve of Mogwai. Let's just spin him. Yeah?
Yeah, get rid.
Maybe not on a immediate roadway where we can be found.
Well, I was having an idea. So
If we cut the skin off his body and then we put it on like a suit. No, I'm joking.
wear his skin. No. If Rayloff fancies it, we could slow down now and have a little walk, say 100 foot the other way, and drop the body off. And just dig it under the sand.
We can decide our next course as well.
Can we leave the letter with him as well?
Oh yeah.
What does the letter say?
It's just a letter from only you know. Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's alright. He seemed to
just
have
orders,
a family.
isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
oh no.
And to say that dinner was on the table and his loving wife had gave him the message.
His loving wife wouldn't have joined in the rebellion, and if she did,
Exactly.
she would have died.
Exactly. So,
There's no need to worry.
and what she doesn't know, I guess, doesn't kill her.
Assuming I don't find her.
Still
yes.
about a day and a half.
But it's true. It's true. That's
let's-
what I think.
let's
But
make up,
before
yeah.
we
If she approaches me, I'm killing her before the embarrassment comes.
I'm just gonna start slowing down the horses. So taking them not on the road, but sort of off the roadway, but
Yeah.
just to the side.
It's completely fine. There is a little bit of leeway, kind of like almost like a verge of sand before it climbs up to the tall 16 to 20 plus feet dunes on either side of you. Still keeping this more canyon-like road. Keeps you very like cut off from looking around much, except for like little dips that just come up to eye level every now and then. You do pull over to a slight verge. The horses almost instinctively, as soon as they're unlatched from the carriage, just like and they just pretty much lie down on their sides, just trying to cool off, and you hear them panting. But it is roughly...
What I will do, I'll start setting up the tent over them, just so to help them try and cool down a bit.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
I will also cast Prestidigitation underground to make it cool.
Okay, nice. You do see, in a quick moment, you do see the horses like kind of shiver slightly, but then just like lay into it and really adjust as if it was the comfiest bed of hay they'd ever found. And for all of you, it is blistering weather. The sun is beating down, coming close to just high noon, midday sun, and it is just sweltering. Every time.
I'll have a poncho sort of over my head, so it's not beaming down on me, but I will still be very hot.
All of you can feel like as you're beginning to talk or just like breathe, you feel the sweat just like collecting on either end of your lips and just sucks in and then just spit out, and it's constantly like you're being rained on without any rain. It's horrendous heat.
Every few feet, I'll just keep on digitizing myself.
Or quite
dry.
You can only do it on non-living material.
Yeah, me clothes.
Still do it to your clothes.
Successful, yeah.
Yeah, you see Theron just constantly, just every 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes or so, you see like Theron kind of like just utter an incantation, and you see his damp closing pit
I've
stage.
got clean my glasses because they're getting fogged up.
Yeah.
Once I've started I've done the tent, I'll get me cook utensils set up, and I'll start cooking a meal for everyone.
All right.
Master Chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking in the
Giant
desert.
edition.
Yeah. But now, do you want to take one of these, and I'll pass everyone a good berry,
Oh, thank God.
just so you feel a little better.
Everyone gets
I'll
1
give
HP.
I'll give Rayloff the extra one to put in the cook pot.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. So roll a nature or survival check, your choice, for cooking this meal. And
Survival check it is then.
Yeah, and then going from there, we'll see how long it takes and what the quality of it is.
Woo! 17.
Nice. Okay, you find the right balance of flavors, even between the very limited ingredients that you have, and you do come out with a nice hearty stew. Not as meaty as you or anyone else was really hoping for, but there's enough viscosity to it that it feels like a good hearty thick soup, and it's relatively flavorful. It's not the best slop that you've ever made, but it's good, you know, for roadsides in the Crawler's Respite in the beating down sun. Yeah, it's pretty tasty. It's slightly refreshing, but makes you want to drink a little bit more. But it's really good. It only taking roughly about an hour or so to fully cook up. While everyone is sat down, is there anything while cooking is going on you want to do, or anything doing this? Are you guys? I do want to know. Are you guys looking to take a long rest here around the midday point, or are you just settling down for some food and a short rest?
Where are we? Are we right by the road?
Yeah, you're literally
well,
you just come off the road, and you're just on the like a small sandy verge, just next to the Meridian Road.
Oh,
I'd probably say just a short
giving the
rest.
horses a little rest.
Yeah, just a short rest for the minute,
Okay.
and then.
That's right. Yeah. Well,
Give
you
the
go on. Yeah,
horses
as
some water and
Rayloff has finished putting a small like little canopy awning thing just to send up over the horses so they're in shade.
I'll take a short rest as well then.
Okay. While all of you rest up and out. Hey.
Hey.
I'll bury the goblin. I'll sort of not very grasp, but shove. Get where a hill is, essentially. Shove his body near the bottom of the hill and just sort of push the top of the hill over him. That's his burial.
So you see Gerald just wade through the thick sand dune just next to the verge, up and up and up and up. And very quickly, he just comes back down. No real like noises made, just a little bit of shuffling through the sand. Right now, you do hear just the slight whistle of wind passing.
I believe everyone should be buried in a desert. That is so much simpler than the whole digging up the ground.
I think there's a bit more to being buried than just putting the body into the ground. There's a little bit of sentimentation.
You're sorry. I turn around to the June. Your wife will miss you. And are we happy?
I'm just...
Amazing.
Just sit down and eat your stew.
Thank you.
Sit down, start eating.
So I'm gonna throw the bowl towards him. Obviously not.
Not launch it at him, but yeah, just pushing it into his little his kanky
Enough
chest.
to I have to go.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
Rayla, can you tell the time? Or more of a question, do you know how long? Do you know the feeling of an hour or two?
Well,
to be fair,
when you started investigating them, it would have been between 10 and 12 o'clock. I imagine probably would have been a few more hours, so it would be early afternoon right now.
There you go. Because I could turn back into my horse and give the 2 horses a bit of a fighting chance for 2 hours. You fancied me just staying up for those 2? Help the carriage out with a bit more oomph? Maybe get there a smidge faster?
Well, before that, do we want to carry on? Do we head back?
I want a short rest.
No.
Oh yeah,
after.
you can. And just saying, while you're having a short rest, you can just converse and talk and eat as well. You don't need to like sleep for a short rest.
Oh yeah.
At least for this game.
Sound. I'll use arcane recovery while I'm
Yep.
doing a short rest. Then.
Do we have the information we need to go back to the Lawmaster and tell him where their encampment is?
That is true.
Do we go back, or do we have a look, see what we can find?
Well, is it an hour we have to wait for short rest?
Yeah.
So now that Gerald has disposed of the goblin body so elegantly, all we have to do is wait for one of the vulture things to come back down again. And if it decides to come down, I could make it go to him and literally fly a message that he will betray. And he would know it would be me as well, because it would betray as my voice.
Oh, kind of
Would
like
it
this.
be able
My
to?
voice, as I mimic your voice.
As Gerald does
That's
that,
exactly.
the voice is spot on. There's no hesitation. There's no
It is
break.
literal
It is just.
on
It is
point.
perfect. Your voice.
Yes, no way anyone else could have portrayed that message.
Exactly.
Not to mention, would it even be able to make it there with and say a message? It's a good 5 hours travel.
Yeah,
It
give or
can-
take right now, probably between like 7 and 5 hours away.
Because it can fly, it can travel 50 miles.
And it can travel all of that in, what, a couple of hours, you're saying?
Per 24 hours.
Then how would they get a message back? Are we just going to wait here?
Well, we
He
would
could just send a bunch of
Send?
guards to the ruins. We go out, clear the ruins, they just take their stuff back. And if we don't clear it in time, we now have helpers.
Well, if we're going to go there anyway, it's not a bad plan. Admittedly, it's better than going all alone. But
I'm happy to go back and we speak to him.
No,
And
they'll
then we
take
could
way
always-
too much time up.
True, but no one knows that we know the information that we know. So they know none the wiser. We've
But-
literally
a
killed
patrol-
everyone.
they
Can
know
we
a
send?
patrol would be missing though.
How are we
True.
going to send a message? Through magic?
Well, I can send the message now. So the message will be, we're coming back. Prepare yourselves. And then we get there, tell them the actual information.
Oh.
And then we can go as a larger amount. We could even lead the place.
Or would it be better if we went to deal with it?
Like the goblin stated, safety is better in numbers. If there's more of us, there's more chance we're going to win. But, like Theron said, they're gonna know that a patrol is missing by the time that we get back to here. It's going to be 2 days.
To be honest, they probably lose quite a lot of them anyway if they're going against people.
I would only assume that he was going to be back, or they might have been there for a while. I don't know.
Yeah,
The
especially
message-
his wife.
Yeah, the note says dinner was on the table.
And I will be hungry by the time we get there.
I
I
say
assume
go
you
there.
see.
I'll
You
just
say
go
go
on.
there instead of going back.
I'll just go with what everybody else votes.
Okay.
We can sneak in against the minimal guards when those creatures come around.
Okay.
And
if they scout see
and
us?
I can always use minor illusion a few times.
Yeah. The illusion of numbers would scare most of the goblins. They
That would
respect
be a-
power, it
You
seems.
don't need numbers to scare the goblins.
Mm.
You heard it from
We have a
him.
giant.
They're scared of whatever's out there. If we could get one of those creatures to, by chance, find there, surely that would help us.
You're wanting to ask the creature that the goblins are scared of to help us. Is that what you're trying
No.
to portray?
Or at least
I'm
lure it rather than tell it.
I'm sure the creature would be hard done by to ignore a tasty meal right in front of it if it saw it.
The real
Look-
question is, are they active at night? Or is it just the daytime, or is it both?
He
Well,
seems
I'd
to
say
suggest both.
it'd just be whenever they decided was the time was ready. He didn't really say when. You know, sun up and sun down.
Okay,
Anytime.
who votes that we're going?
I'd say go.
I'd say go as well, you know.
But
Well,
I would
wait
send it.
until the vulture goes, and then I can send the animal across it. It doesn't take me long.
What can you
So-
send an accurate message, or is it?
Let me just clarify exactly. I have to.
Could
You
not-
specify a location which you must have visited and a recipient who matches a general description, such as a man or woman dressed in the uniform of the town guard. You can speak a message up to 25 words. The target
Oh, that'll be fine.
beast travels the duration, blah blah blah. When the message arrives, it delivers your message to the creature that you described, replacing the sound, replicating the sound of your voice. The messenger speaks only to a creature matching the description you gave. If the messenger does not reach its destination before the spell ends, the message is lost and the beast makes its way back to where you cast the spell. So, even the animal itself is safe, because once it's said its message, it'll just come back here and finish off its meal.
You then hear, just atop the dune,
Well, here's your chance.
Amazing.
Can you also
So-
ask? We need a silver flute. Tell them to bring one of those.
Bring a silver flute.
Yes.
I'll pull out my flute.
Trust me.
Do you-
Just ask.
Okay. Any reason why?
All will be revealed later.
It's just going to be a Rocket Raccoon situation where he doesn't actually need it.
you see this larger Kolag atop the dune, and you just see its just jagged beak, almost just like almost crack into a sharper point on the bill, before it just begins to trying to shovel out some snow at the top of this dune.
Snow, fucking hell.
Sorry,
This desert's got one.
atop of the sand. We're trying to shovel the sand. Shut up, you know what I meant.
That prestidigitation really made it cold. Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn, I
It
didn't
was
know we were
freezing
in a
temperature.
desert.
Oh my god, that's it.
Whoever knew prestidigitation was that powerful.
Yeah, I know. World changing.
Level 9 prestidigitation.
So, Terra, as you cast the spell,
Just the
just
snow dunes.
yeah, just at at the sand dunes, at the adult Koleg that is now trying to get to Greed's goblin body, and and you begin to cast the incantation and utter the message to it, as all of you have just agreed to continue your journey along the Meridian Road to find these ruins and whatever the Herons have in store for you there. And that's where we're going to take a quick break and come back in just a short while, right after that.
Yeah, we've got to let the snow melt.
I hate you so fucking much.
That was a good joke.
Okay, as we come back into the game, the party has just decided, as all of you sat down on a sandy verge along the Meridian Road, burying your once interrogated friend of greed. You buried his body very subtly and quickly, and after you had discussed matters and took a vote to continue towards these ruins that Greed had told you about, Tara was partway through casting a spell towards this large adult vulture-like Kolag, just as it's trying to dig through the sand to find the goblin's body. Tara, what do you cast, and what does everyone else see?
So I pull out some food from a chunk of meat, throw it in its general direction, and as it goes to pick up the food, I will use my hands towards it to say, "You will go to Lord Keeper Bolin at the Law House in Brenton. Pale, blonde, raw-shouldered half-elf, wearing purple robes with golden and amber trim. You will see ruins northwest of Meridian. Day half travel. Careful of creatures near. Bring many. 50 plus enemies. Bring silver flute. From the companions of fate.
And you see its like head unnaturally snap to you and back, and ignoring the potential feast, you see it very quickly just spread out its wings, only about 2 feet from end to end, before it just begins to soar off in the sky, heading southward.
Awesome. So, are we going to get ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I'll start. Can you feed the horses while I take the tent back in?
I can, yes. Yeah, I still have a chance to become another horse to help the motion of going there maybe a bit quicker if there's 3 horses.
Yeah. There's still one feeding.
Oh yeah, I'll feed them and then.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Yeah, cool. I can stay there for about 2 hours and then I will revert back. So what I'll do is I will be the main horse in front of the other 2, and then the moment I start pulling back and matching all, so there's all 3, you know to slow down the horses. Because once I revert back to me, and they travel a lot quicker than me.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Good old game of card dodging.
Yeah. Exactly. Woo. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, once you start slowing down, I whip the reins and charge forward.
And if you do, I will turn around and throw what I have at you.
I'll just start taking the tent down.
Yeah. So you very
I'll start
quickly.
feeding the horses.
Yeah, you very quickly get the awning down. The horses, well rested from this breather, begin to munch some of the grain out of Tara's hands, and after being watered as well, both of them stand pretty much to attention and very well behaved. They don't seem to be like erratic or worried at all. They're just very, I don't know, calm.
Awesome.
Compared to other animals or other horses that you've dealt with before. But you quickly get the reins back on and reattach them to the front of the caravan. How are you going to get Tara into the mix when she wild shapes?
I'm going to give Rayla my large 50-foot rope. I'm going to make a circle with a knot, quite a large circle. That's slightly bigger than the horse that I originally turned into, just for that extra room. And I will feed it through the middle, between the 2 horses, and give that side to Rayloff. And then just before we're ready, I'm gonna put then the loop over my own
kind of like a lasso.
And kind of like hold it here until we're ready to go.
And then we'll do triangle formation of like you, 2 horses, carriage.
Yeah.
How much food did I use for the meal, by the way?
I'll say 4 rations worth.
Bet. I'll just take them out of mine then. That's fine.
So then, if you do want to cook later on and you do have to rely on rations and there's no inns or anywhere that can offer you food, then it'll be up to other people as well to throw their rations to you. For you to cook them. But yeah, okay. So you, the horses are ready. You see them as they get up and they just they're calm as to having the reins put back on and attached to the cart, and they're just waiting. And then Tara assumes her position in front, holding this large lasso around her chest and shoulders as all of you bundle into the caravan.
Is there any ink around the horse's eye still?
Well, I haven't changed yet, so.
Not yet.
Oh.
Well, when you're ready then.
Whip the reins now.
I'm gonna go into a horse.
Okay, so you see Tara's body slightly crack and just stretch and elongate before her arms just turn flat into hooves, and she very quickly just shifts into a horse that is just as great and just as large as these other two. And she just stands there. I imagine probably just like a lighter brown coat.
It is, yeah. You'll see still like the dreads down the middle, being quite. It looks a bit like a female version of a stallion size. Like it is built.
Yeah.
This one.
So you see this jacked out mare in front of these two fairly, still fairly muscular and fairly athletic looking horses, but just a little bit more bulky.
Yeah.
And you hear the wheels just as they begin to just roll and grind just across the cobblestone and the sand going back onto the Meridian Road.
Sort of hop back on once I've secured the rope, just sort of grab on it and just lift myself up.
Yeah.
Just sort of get back into the reins.
Very easily, and the slight melody of the horses just all of all the hooves just clipping and clopping down. You continue your way down the Meridian Road. Is there anything you'd like to do over the next few hours of travel?
I would like to try to usher through movement of. I'm trying to portray we want to get there as quick as possible, so I'm going to try to push forwards, even so Raylock can feel the pull from myself, and I want to try to get to a good top speed.
Rayloff, without even thinking about it, it's very noticeable. You can see as Tara is just pushing further and further, and the other horses are slowly catching up to the attention, but they just might need just that extra little nudge to pick up pace.
Yeah. I'll probably speed them up to match.
Alright, you just slight little, just gentle graze of the whip on their hindquarters before they all continue in this nice flying V of horses.
If I just keep dashing, would the other horses also dash with me?
From what you've done so far, yeah.
Okay, I will attempt to use that dashing movement.
Okay,
I'll speed to 120 feet.
Yeah, I'll say then, the distance that would have taken you, say there's about 5 hours left of the journey, the distance that you would cover in 3 hours, you cover in 1.5. Okay,
well, I can only stay like this for 2 hours.
Yeah. So
when it gets to about an hour, say 50 minutes, I'm going to start drawing back.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll say it takes. I'd say by the time you shift back or you're ready to shift back, you've probably only got another 2 hours of travel left. The sun.
Is this to get to the ruins or to the fork?
Well, from what you were told from Tara and Greed, it would be to the ruins, which ultimately would lead you to the fork, a little bit closer ways towards the ruins.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a day and a half's worth of travel if we were just going to stick with horses, so we've still got another good day's worth. We just up the speed dramatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Okay.
I shall bring out the small little drums that connect together. So as we're traveling along, I'm gonna go for like a Crash Bandicoot sort of style drum music there with the going on pace, especially if we've picked up. Yeah, that'll fly.
I'll gride
Yeah.
mission one.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yeah. Do you want to roll a performance check while you're at it?
Can do indeed. 18. Oh wait, I rolled a d12. But keep the score because that's just an idiot move. Let's go for it.
All right. Even the estranged horses, as they're sort of like more of like a slight little like a little trot. You find a couple of their hooves like just between the, and they're almost like just tapping an extra one to the beat of these drums as Gerald is just continuously just keeping it going for a little while. And all of you kind of just feel your heads bob slightly and making the wasteland of a desert around you of nothingness but heat and sweat a little more enjoyable.
Prestidigitation.
And while you are traversing, and you still, as you're continuing to make your way northwards, you're still running along the Meridian Road, and you do see that it is like still slightly curving more towards the northeast than anywhere. The sun, roundabout being more mid-afternoon by now, getting to early evening, but more solidly in the mid-afternoon. You just feel like still the sweat, albeit all the prestidigitation. I think I got that right. Thank you. For all of those needed, the sweat is still just pouring down, and you just feel like your eyes start squinting as you're going along, as sweat is just getting into your eyes, and you're just almost drinking most of your sweat now. And you see the distance and almost like infinite haphazard roadway, the cobblestone underfoot, now is slowly beginning to turn into packed sand. And in a few areas, you see a little bit of the cobblestone peek through, but the further you traverse, and I'd say probably with an hour left of this run, getting you to the mid-afternoon, early evening, you are now currently traversing across solid, just packed sand. Still the same firmness of the road, but just complete sand. And Rayloff, you see just ahead, about half an hour to an hour's worth more, you see a slight indent in the dunes to your left where a path just cambers off. And as all of you are getting to this point, and the heat is slowly kind of just melting you a little, I want everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Because we all know Constitution's my favourite.
Oh yeah.
It will do with that new feat.
17.
Okay.
16 plus 2.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So
16 for myself.
okay, Gerald, what did you get?
10.
10. Gerald, as you're playing and you're just peeking your head out just over the dunes, slowly resting and breathing, lurching through, you see amidst the sand and the golden hills, just a slight distance away from you, you see this large, just immense, scale-covered reptile with more arms and fangs you've ever seen. And you begin to see it, you're sure, slowly begin slither across the surface, breaking into the dunes and poking out slowly, almost like if you see a centipede slowly dig through dirt, winding its way through the sand, straight towards you.
Oh, take the horses first. I'm going to jump out the back. I am running away from this surface.
You see, just as you're about to hit the fork, Gerald just leaps out the back and begins trying to struggle and trying to climb up one of the sand dunes just to your left.
I'll
roll a athletics check for me with disadvantage.
When I see that, I'm just gonna slow down the horses.
Yeah.
And just try and get them a bit further out into the.
We have a 9.
Nigh, you're scrambling up, and Gerald, you see him get about 4 feet up, and then and just not beating the dune.
I'll just shout out, "Hey, Gerald, where are you going?"
I'm not being eaten by that snake. Keep going.
All right, you keep struggling and struggling.
I'm gonna look out to where, out across the dunes to see if I can see anything he's on about.
Roll a perception check.
Are you sure?
Once we stopped, I'm gonna revert back.
Are you sure you're not hallucinating?
I don't even gonna warrant that one. Let's keep running for the snake.
All right, roll
That's a hallucination talking to me.
Once we made a stop, I'll revert back.
Yeah, Gerald, roll another athletics.
3. I rolled a natural 1.
I mean, you don't see anything. You see some shadows being cast. You see a lot of sand.
You can see some light at the minute. My eyes are just completely dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's all blurry as it is, and you feel the strain in your eyes as you blink. You close your eyes and it's just immediate rest, but then you have to open them again, and it's just sore squinting through the sweat and the moisture. It's terrible.
Is this hallucination getting any closer to me, by the way?
As you look back, roll another Constitution saving throw for me.
8.
8. It's still in the distance, but it's ever so slowly.
I'm failing to climb. I'm digging.
Okay.
I'm digging myself into the sand.
All right. Yeah, we're digging. Roll a survival check.
I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna go over to, and I'm just gonna get my water skin out and just sort of throw it onto his face.
All right.
That's 16. For
16.
That.
You get to Gerald as he is making just mini little shovels, and out of his hands, and just going and going and going, almost doing a breaststroke into the
I'm just gonna pick him up then and just throw some water on him.
Gerald, you're quickly hoisted out, and as that water hits.
What are you doing? What are you seeing out there?
There is nothing but
sand. It was
sand.
a giant snake. It was just there. It went in and out, and it was gonna come and eat me.
Have you been drinking any water?
It's gonna be look blankly always at you as if realizing that I've drunk nothing.
Yeah, none of you hear any movement from the dunes. The gentle breeze pushing past, giving a slight relief from the humidity. But Gerald, yeah, you just see
somebody
sand
give me
dunes.
some water.
There may have been a small error in my
Been a long day.
drinking.
It's all
We'll
right.
find a place to camp and we'll set up for the night. Come on, let's get back.
Yeah.
Okay.
How sort of flat is it looking to the opposite side?
The dunes.
Or to either side, really.
The dunes themselves are still rolling, up to peaks and then dips, but there's enough sand and there's enough of the volume of these dunes and these hills that there are flat parts or parts that, with a little bit of persuasion, it will be packed down firmly enough on the top that you could.
I'll move the cart to one of the ones where it's sort of doing that.
Yeah.
And then sort of rest it there, sort of set up there.
All right. So you all begin to set up camp, still with, I'd say, I mean, if anyone wants to do a survival check or nature check, they're cool for determining the time.
Oh,
Go ahead, yeah.
try to learn the time.
Yeah.
While we have the time to.
That's better.
What'd you get, Rail off?
22.
Nice.
16.
I'll have a go because I like time.
Okay.
I like damn.
Tara, what did you get?
16.
16. And Theron?
12 plus 3.
15.
Oh, I was going to
Okay.
say.
All of you, pretty much at the same time, like looking at the position of the sun, looking at any shadows that are being cast, if any, you'd probably deem it's only roughly about 6 in the evening. Still plenty of daylight left, especially with how this weather is seemingly just bright sun and blue skies, no clouds, no rain.
Look, I thought the plan was that we would have shifts. So why don't we forget about camp for now? Me and Gerald will carry on with the horses. You two get a quick kipping, and we'll take the most advantage of this sun while we can actually see.
True, but we're not too far off the fork now, and I imagine it's not that far to the.
Like I said, when I saw, fair enough, that their help was better. We got some distance travelled, but we still got a long way. Like a long way. Like I said, even at best, it's probably another day. So why don't we just get as much as we can done now, and then when you've rested, you can either decide to travel at the night, or we can make camp then, and then, well, if we have camp, me and Gerald can sleep then, anyways. But we could just travel all the time and just give the horses a quick chance to get their breath.
I say we go as far as we can.
Then if we do that, probably best, Gerald, if you take the first rest.
Alright.
I'll stay up.
You sure?
Yeah.
Cool. So Theron and Gerald, you're going to have your rest?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So,
We'll do
As-
that. We'll
yeah.
unpack the camp.
Oh, I was just
I'll
pointing it
probably
to the
give
side in
the-
a minute. I didn't get any camp out
Yeah.
yet.
So I'll give the horses water and a little bit more food while we've stopped.
okay, I do need to ask then, while you're taking shifts for 2 to rest and 2 to stay up,
Yeah.
are you looking to push the horses a little bit and keep moving with the 2 sleeping in the caravan, or are you all stopping off for rest?
That I know of. We're going to just travel at a speed that the horses are happy with, but to still carry on moving the right way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe push them a
this
few
time-
hours, but then we'll stop.
Okay.
at night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely fine. So yeah, over the next, at a decent push, about next 5 hours, you cover a lot of ground. You do, as Rayloff and Tara, both of you are awake and at the front. You do come to the fork within the first hour of those 5, and as you pull off, the sand itself, the road is completely gone at this point. You are walking through now fully the crawler's respite. However, this forked path is solidly packed down, so much so that there'd have to be a large sandstorm for this entire path to be covered up. Still around you, amber and golden sand just surrounding everywhere you look.
They look suspicious. Like, all the dunes that we've seen, for this to be so compact, so much overall space, does it look like it's been put there for a reason? Does it seem that way, or?
Right now, just off of a glance, you're just more happy that there is a legible path to follow, but you have a sense that if all the foot traffic from these ruins to the Meridian Road is via this fork, you understand now why this path is here and so solidly set in place of these large vast sand dunes that it just like almost like cuts itself into this little valley heading off of the main road.
No worries. Yeah, so real we just carry on, and then when it gets a bit dark, we can we'll get ready to sleep ourselves. And then when the guys get up, we'll go and sleep ourselves.
Yeah.
And then they can do whatever they need to do for a few more
next few hours anyway. We'll want to hide somewhere pretty decently though.
Yeah, we can put it around the sides. Sure, there'll be a dune somewhere, slightly off the path. Yeah. Cool. We'll venture forth until it starts getting dark.
All right.
And then we'll try to find a reasonable good place.
There's off of this fork. There's really no like really good place like you would in like a fully green like oak tree forest or anything. But I mean, there's enough room that you can make a camp wherever off of this path.
We'll go say a good 30-40 feet off the path. But still in going the same direction as where we would then come back onto the path. And we'll just set up camp there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you set up camp just next to the cart.
Giving the horses water and food.
You immediately see their eyes like light up and they're
giving strokes.
Yeah, they're not their personalities, but you just feel their hopes just being lifted slightly as you push handful after handful of grain to them and a nice big bag of water as well for them to just dip their snouts in and go nuts. But the sun is slowly fading, and as it does, you begin to feel that breeze that was once a gentle whisper slowly grow across the dunes. You look across, and as you feel the wind breeze past you, you do see atop these sand dunes, you see some peaks and plateaus just slightly just drift off. Around you see little specks and dust clouds of sand drift off into the air. And just about the time that both of you, Rayloff and Tara, are ready to sleep and wake up Gerald and Theron for the next shift, you feel that wind again. And it's not refreshing, it's freezing cold as the sun still begins to dip to amber and darker and darker.
Once I start feeling the cold, I'm going to stick my warm coat on rather than the poncho.
And what I will be doing is I'll put some, wherever the carriage is, where the wind blows, as a wall break or a wind break, I'd put bundle woods and little filings and stuff. I'm using Druidcraft, I'll start a fire.
Alright, yeah.
To try to keep some warmth.
Simple enough as Rayloff puts on his heavy coat and you finish your Druidcraft and then get the fire lit. It's just a small little... I mean, using the sand, honestly, you can make a little fire pit as you just like pack it down and around.
Vegetation.
Yeah. As you just begin to light the fire, and you hear the of all the twigs snapping into ember, and the fire lightly being stoked every now and then, and it keeps you fairly warm until another like stronger breeze comes through and just the chills just roll up your back, and it is almost, by the time you're about to wake Theron and Gerald, it is pretty much to how you feel compared to the day. It is freezing, if not below.
Okay, bloody hell.
I'm just glad I got the coats.
I'll most certainly put on coats.
Yeah, you put on one of the heavier ponchos, and you then wake up. You continue. You see Theron and Gerald, as both of you are sleeping. Rayloff and Tara, you guys see both Gerald and Theron, albeit they're kind of more tucked inside the caravan. You see them start shivering slightly, just due to the now immense cold.
Jesus Christ! What the hell's happened? Pass us one of those coats, will you? Cheers.
I kind of throw the other one towards Gerald just to either if he is awake or asleep.
I'll let it land on me, but as it lands on me, I was like, thank you. It was just feeling a bit different.
It seems like it gets very cold in the dark.
Theron and Gerald, you both open your eyes fully, like just getting all the sleep out of your eyes and just finally like coming just back awake and back to consciousness. And you look around, it is pitch black. The only thing...
Lucky I don't have night vision then.
The only thing you can see is this small, teeny little fire that is emanating just a nice little bit of warmth the closer you get to it. And just one side of the caravan and the horses just next to it. But it is absolutely pitch black around. Almost like standing just in an endless void.
Right then, guys. Are you two going to go sleep?
Yeah.
I'll take watch.
Cool.
I shall lead the horses, as you can't see where you're going.
Who said that?
Horses
God.
will be resting. We'll just stay here for the minute, and once it goes day, we'll...
Probably be better off sleeping with the horses. More warmth.
I'll be alright with just my coat.
Or whatever floats your boat.
I know Tara likes animals.
I love animals.
I'll leave her alone. Her friends are back at the town in the pen.
I'm gonna go hug Mogwai, and I'm gonna go sleep. So yeah, enjoy your night watch and that. And when it starts getting sunny, if you want to just start setting off, we can go from there.
No worries. No worries.
Will do.
Fantastic. Well, enjoy your night, and we'll hopefully try to enjoy ours.
Yeah, nice warm night.
And then using the blanket of starlight as well. Me and Mogwai are going to hook over and keep our own warmth with this.
Yeah, Rayloff, you see something you haven't seen before as Tara brings out a small blanket, and as she just wafts it around her and then cuddles Mogwai, and you just hear the very gentle
no freaky stuff, you two.
You begin to see the blanket gently illuminate. Slight dots, smaller and larger, all around the blanket. And it just fills the caravan with this gentle and dim incandescent light that is more soothing and serene than it is bright.
Look at my coat. Mine doesn't do that. I bought the damn things. Just put the hood over and then just go
Tuck
sleep.
away. Okay. So
as well, because I'm rubbish at seeing in the dark, I'll just use prestidigitation to create a small little light.
Okay. So as Rayloff and Terra, both of you find yourselves to slumber, well, firstly, because it was a long rest, Gerald and Theron, you make sure you mark yourselves down as completing a full long rest.
Okay.
Yes.
And as you are sitting there, just the small little fire crackling, and to Gerald, you see just gently around you are these tall dunes that just ambush your senses, and they don't allow you to see anything past the horizon. And just as you were trying to imagine the warmth that fire could give you, or the warmth that this desert once held for you, you feel of the wind pass by and just ruffling your feathers, and it just seeps in and chills you down to your core as both of you begin to sit in the pitch black of the Crawler's Respite together to keep watch.
I'm kind of used to the cold, though. I used to live up north.
As he's still
These
shivering.
feathers, they do help.
I can
But,
imagine.
How well are you at sensing things around here?
I
On
can't
the
see
path?
anything.
But I meant for hearing or something else.
Well, I can hear you, so hopefully not too bad.
Alright. I'm going to climb those dunes. And it's such out. I don't like.
And there's me
Not
just
sitting
like
there.
trying to see if there's anything
Yeah.
out there. Me little stupid light.
Yeah, you right now, with the proximity of the light, all you see is just a little dim light just in your eyes like that. Just, I mean, you're trying to make shapes around it, but it's just the dim light is just glaring at you at this point.
You let me know if you spot anything.
I'll give it a go.
All right, so Gerald, would you like to? Are you actually trying to climb, or are you just going to like mosey on up towards a little
I'll
peak?
make my way up. I'm not going to go for the whole scrambled frenzy that I was going
Okay,
for last
yeah,
time.
all right.
Of getting out.
Yeah, very easily done. You find a couple footsteps just slightly sink more into the sand than others, whereas others you find it a little bit more packed and a little bit more firm. And you get up to this small peak, and as you do, another gust of cold midnight air of the respite shoots around you, and you shiver once more.
Once I've got out, I'll pull out this one of these small red vials that I have on me.
Mm-hmm.
Just open the top. Just give it a long sniff into it.
Yeah, you
And
just
drink that.
okay. You take in the smell, and as you exhale, you start salivating as you can almost taste it before you end up allowing yourself to enjoy it.
I'll do that. Followed by then literally, I will search out. I want to also have a look because I feel like, because we've now travelled, see if I can search a little bit to see if I can see evidence of a giant snake serpent having moved through this area.
Yeah, no problem. Roll investigation check for me. Because you got dark vision as well. I think you do, Kenku?
Yes.
Yeah. Then
Oh God, one of us has it.
just a flat roll then.
15.
15. You see dips and rises in the dunes. You find firmer spots and very tender and softer spots of the sand where you'll sink in. And if you're not careful, you will just go through, and however many feet of sand there is, you'll just dip through. But no evidence of any large scaled snake peering and winding through the desert that you can tell.
In that case, afterwards, we're going to nestle onto the hill a bit there and just sort of imagine sitting into the hill to then watch down at the cart a bit. So that I can sort of assess what's around. And then if anything is appearing sort of above me, I should be able to hear that, I would hope.
Okay. Yeah, you just sit there and you just take a moment, like sort of like wrapping into your feathers and the coat and just looking down, and you see Theron like just squinting and looking around but holding this light in front of his face, and you can tell his face is the most illuminated thing here, except for the small fire that is just gently and just gently cracking. As both of you are just listening and looking out for anything, can I have both of you roll a perception check for me, please? Theron, yours will be with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's an 8. Well, that's an 8.
Got a yeet.
Wait, got a yeet.
Nice.
We got the way.
The other one was a 17. So.
Come on, then how screwed are we?
Alright, so 8.
So it's 8.
Yeah, Theron, you see and hear nothing.
Hold him in 8 plus. Can't
Wisdom.
see perception. Plus 3. 11.
11. Not bad. You don't see anything. And Gerald, as you are just sitting there and you're taking in the midnight air as Theron looks just around, searching for anything. And the night gets darker and darker than pitch black. You hear just off in the distance through the silence, you hear and you hear this large controlled explosion before another just off in the distance as it echoes across the dunes. A third as you hear clicking and clacking.
Does this sound like it's approaching us in any sense?
Staying off in the distance right now.
I'd like to see if I could find a point where I can start to see it.
Gerald,
you look
I
across
heard
the
something.
dunes,
Yes.
and about 400 to 500 feet away, far in the distance, as you see nothing through the pitch black void of the desert, you hear one more duller, and as a small little blast of ember and amber lights up for a flash, you see a humanoid figure at the end of this flash, holding it for that brief second, looking down. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode and come back next week to continue from there.
Have we found the Staff of Endless Fireballs?
Yes.
Now, while we're here, before we end everything, I want just to reward all of you guys. Hold on for a sec. Just to reward all of you guys for the game. I want to give all of you another fun little item. So, can everyone
I like fun
roll?
little items.
I know.
Does
you
it help
are.
us see in the dark?
Oh, we wish.
You wish. Maybe.
One of them might.
So what I want you to do, rather than a D100, can everyone roll a D20 for me?
Yeah, not
So
a
you want us
D12.
to roll a D100 and then a D20?
No, just a D20.
Not a problem.
Number 14.
14.
Natural 20, come on.
Okay, so
I rolled a 12.
14.
15.
15. All right. So Gerald, 14. You get. So starting next episode, these will all be in your inventories, and I'll make sure they're there. You get the Winter Kettle. A glass teapot with hand-shaped handles that bring water to a rolling boil almost instantly.
Then chuck it in the enemy's face.
Yeah. Theron, 15.
Yeah.
You get a blind man's charm. A pair of gloves that softly hums different notes based on the type of metal they touch. Mostly used for coins, as they were made for a merchant that went blind so that he couldn't be swindled.
Okay. So what does it do?
Identifies metal.
A pair of gloves that softly hums different notes depending on which metal they're touching, or what kind of metal they're touching.
Okay. That could be useful.
Rayloff.
12.
12. You get Kumquats Quill. A feathered cap whose feather is a quill that can write 5 pages of notes. Once pulled from the cap and used, the feather disappears after an hour and a new feather grows from the cap. And Terra.
10.
10.
Nice and average.
You get the Book of Epic Boredom. When reading for at least 10 minutes, you have to make
Bored already?
a Constitution save, or be put to slumber for a solid, uninterruptible 8 hours.
Ooh.
And with that, thanks for watching. It was fun. We'll see you next time.